One part that I didn't do for a long time was the back, mostly because I couldn't figure out exactly what I wanted to do and how I was going to do this. The issue that I was running into is making sure that when we're hunting, this piece is concealed enough, but being that I have a tiller steer engine, being able to have enough visibility while we were driving. So what I ended up doing is I created two flaps, kind of like my door, that lock into each other. So I'm going to show you kind of what I did to set that up. Because my blind is all built on these clamps right here, I want to make it as removable as possible so that I can take it fishing in the summer and that kind of thing. So that was another challenge that I ran into, is how am I going to make this a removable blind, but also one that when I'm driving down the freeway, it isn't going to come off. So this is what I ended up doing. I ended up bolting this piece here down and through an existing hole there. And then here, what I did, and I don't know if you can see it really well, is I have this piece here. I think this is a 2-inch by 1-inch T that I drilled a piece of conduit basically and screwed it in there. And what that is, and then at the bottom I put a bolt that I can just unscrew. And that way when I take my clamp off over here, this whole thing will come out with it. But while I am hunting and driving down the road, it is bolted in there and it won't come out, okay? And that's what I ran into. So that way I can actually get this on and off properly without having to, worry about taking out a bunch of bolts and that kind of thing. And I did the same thing over here, exactly the same setup, and bolted that in. Here, the first time I screwed it up, I didn't leave myself enough length, but this time I went ahead and gave myself plenty of space to drill that in. And that'll keep that from lifting out. So the next part that I did after I figured that out was figuring out how to build these panels so that, one, they're not too tall, and then two, they're removable and I can just put them back on myself. So this is what I ended up doing. I took some more of my angles, and after I built these doors, okay, these doors are 32 inches wide and 45 inches tall. All right, so I left these 2.5-inch bolts long here, and then on this side I put it like this. And basically what it does, let me see if I can dock this in here real quick, show you guys. Basically what this does is these pieces here drop in to those angles, and that happens on both sides. So I'm going to move my camera to a little bit better spot potentially and see if I can show you kind of how I do that by myself. It's kind of a pain, much easier with two people. Alright guys, so you can see what I've got here. So I've got my two pieces. The first thing that I think is important is sliding these in first, up at the top. And it's just the same. I left these bolts long and I put an angle on these. Once I get that bolted in, I kind of get this somewhat situated in the right spot, and then I just slowly get my bolts dropped into the right spot in the right holes here. Boom. That thing's on there. And you can see it's pretty sturdy. Sturdy enough, definitely, to hunt. I went ahead and I made the back piece here at literally 1 inch longer than the front piece. And I did that just so that I have a little bit more cover over here. And I could have definitely altered it more. But that way you can see that as we're going to be hunting, this will be all completely enclosed, and when I'm ready to drive it, all I have to do is take these off and then put them inside the blind, and I have this all open. I have all of this open so that I can see to the sides of me and I can see out my front again. And that's basically what I did.